Hey friends, Catherine here. I pulled out a handful of air dry clay and I want to make a bowl shaped like a leaf today. The other day we made a yarn bowl with this air dry clay and it turned out better than I was hoping. Well, better than I expected. I always hope for the best, of course. And it turned out better than I expected, which was awesome. So I want to try making another kind of bowl. I want to try to make a bowl shaped like a leaf. So I've made up a little leaf template. Something like that. I just kind of drew a heart shape and then did cut in sections and teardrops and whatnot to make it look like a leaf. And now I've pulled out this air dry clay and I'm going to try to crush it flat-ish and then roll it out. This is probably going to be more clay than I need, but we're also going to try something a little different today. The other day we used a bowl to lay it over, and that worked all right, but the air dry clay kind of wanted to stick to it a little bit when it was finished. Like, I got it off all right and it was fine, but it did kind of want to stick to the bowl a little bit. So what we're going to do today, well, you'll see as soon as we get to that part, of course. What we're going to do today is try a balloon, see if that works better, because I can always puncture the balloon and deflate it from inside the bowl, so it shouldn't have the same kind of issues, hopefully. So let's just roll our clay out, spin. Yep, that's definitely going to be too much clay. So let's grab a sculpting knife and just take some sections off, because if I have a smaller piece to work with, it will hopefully roll out easier. We'll see how that goes, but one can hope. And then let's flip it over so that it's not quite so stuck down to our work surface, and try this again. Yeah. We might need to cut off some more. We'll see how it goes. Let's just get it back to the size we can work with, or the size of the leaf anyway, and see how thin that ends up being, because I don't think it's going to be thin enough. I'm just using a bit of piping, by the way, to roll this out. I don't have a rolling pin that I'm willing to get air dry clay on, because I honestly don't know what's in this air dry clay, and I don't trust it with my good rolling pin, which is fine. I might want to stand up to get a bit more leverage on this. Okay, something like that. I don't think that's as thin as I want it, but it is about the size of the leaf. Definitely not as thin as I want it, so let's try flipping it over and rolling it out to the other side and see if it's not stuck down to the paper, if it'll roll out a little easier. Hopefully, who knows? We shall see. Okay, that is actually probably as thin as I want it. Just kind of feeling it out here. Ooh, no, maybe a little thicker than I want it. Let's try flipping it over again and try and rolling it out just a little bit more. See if we can't get it a little bit thinner. Yeah. So clearly picking it up and setting it back down again is the key. But that is just the thickness I want. So let's See if we can't get those wrinkles out. I set it down on some wrinkles last time, so I ended up with wrinkles from the paper it set into it. And I don't particularly want that. Come on, you. Well, that's as good as that's gonna get. That's okay. We're gonna paint the thing anyway. It doesn't matter. Let's just smooth those over a little bit. And then roll it back flat just to get those finger marks out. Come on, you. Just gotta roll it off the edge, which is fine. There we go. Okay, something like that. That is nice and thin. I like it. Okay, let's place our leaf on our clay. And the clay should be moist enough that the paper just kind of clings to it. Just gently holds it in a loving, papery caress. Okay, and then trace the whole outline of the thing with our handy dandy sculpting tool. So trace the outline first. Let's actually pull this clay away in sections. So let's go down here and turn it around and come off. Lift that clay away. And down this way and up this way. And just pull it off as we go. Hopefully not being too careful to match my outline because it is just a general sort of shape, but I would like it to be something similar to my template. That way, if I like the shape, I can recreate it. That's the whole idea of making a template, is being able to recreate it, well, that and see what it looks like before you actually have a finished copy. But mostly to be able to recreate it if you want to. All right. Okay. Go. And around. And oop. Kind of dug in a little bit there. That's all right. Okay. And then last section for the outside, and then we get to work on our inner cutouts. Okay. So for this, I think what we're going to want to do is start at the point and try and just make sure that we've got our knife straight up and down, or as straight up and down as possible anyway. And then just around and there. And just lift it out and stick it onto our pile of clay. And start at the point and go around, then lift it out, stick it onto the pile. Okay, this one is sort of wiggly. That's all right. Get it too. Okay, and this one here. Excellent. Just 2 tiny ones to go. Trying to keep my knife straight up and down. Oh, that one didn't come out very well. There we go. And then last one. Okay. Something like that. Now we will just lift off our template and do a little bit of scoring down the center so that we end up with kind of leaf center thing going on there. And then just go in through it toward each angle so that it angles outward, opens up a little bit. There we go. And then do some down our creases. Go right like that. Because we want it to have sections dividing outward. Hopefully. And if everything works out, we will end up with something that looks kind of, anyway, kind of like a leaf. Okay, perfect. I'm just put away this air dry clay because we don't want to leave the stuff we're not using out. We don't want it to dry out too much. Get back at our big block. And toss it back in. There we go. Press it in, twist it around so that we lock the air out, and put it back in its box. Awesome. Okay, that's all taken care of. Just smooth that a little bit. Smooth everything down just a smidge so that it all ends up nice and even, hopefully. Perfect. Okay, now what we're going to want to do is take our balloon and blow it up. Maybe that big, maybe a little bit bigger. And tie it off. Because we want our bowl to be able to curve around the top of the balloon. So we will take and set our balloon in a stand. For a stand, I'm just using a bit of duct tape, a roll of duct tape. Go set our balloon in the stand, and then we will pick up our leaf, hopefully gently and carefully so that we don't rip it all apart. Oop, oop, hang on, balloon. And then lay it over the balloon in a nice, even way so that it all bunches toward the stem, hopefully. Because we can settle that down and outward. And then we just have to leave it for a couple of days. Just long enough for the bowl to dry enough that it will hold its bowl shape. And then, once it's dry enough to hold its shape, we can remove it from the balloon, and if the balloon's still intact, we can make another one. And if the balloon's not still intact, we can still make another one, but with a different balloon. And that'll be it. You could also do this with leaving it flat. You could make like a trivet, like a pot holder. That would work really well too. Let's just separate that out and smooth it out just a little bit, because it got lost a little bit. But this is what I did today. Tune in another day for watching the painting of this balloon bowl, this leaf bowl, which could double very easily as a yarn bowl, because if you recall, yarn bowls have cutouts very similar to this. So that would be excellent for a yarn bowl as well. And I put up new videos every day, so there's always something new to see, and I encourage you to come and check it out. And I will see you all tomorrow. Oh, and remember to subscribe. Bye!